Mate, cheers. How's it going?
Cheers, Brett. Got my protein water. Just been to the gym. You know how it is. Monday morning, workout, go live. It's a great schedule.
Protein and water. I don't think they're supposed to mix, are they?
I don't know. They're kind of tasty.
What's it
Yeah, it's not
called?
much protein. It's only 10 grams, but it's like sparkling water with 10 grams of protein.
Oh, they're putting protein in everything these days, eh?
People love it. It's the gym. The gym culture just loves protein. Everything. Yeah.
Mate, speaking of everything, is this going to be the year of Leon Marchand? What's going on here? This guy's swimming everything and just destroying everything.
It's just mind-boggling how good he is. I'm really interested to see how he drops come NCAA's because I don't doubt he's going to drop. And, you know, he's only a second off like the all-time fastest 100-yard backstroke at this point.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
drops could mean anything. And I don't know, like, I guess he's probably going to end up just swimming like whatever ASU need him to swim. So he might not even swim his best events. He can pick up the gaps. He can do the relays. He's the real deal, eh?
Mate, he dropped a 407 in a 500 free on the weekend, just in a dual meet as well. Oh, God. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he really is the real deal. Like he can do yards, he can do long course meters, he can do every single stroke, which kind of makes sense why he's so good at 400 IM because he's not got a weak stroke. He's had the best breaststroke we've ever seen on a medley, and now he's doing world class backstroke times, and at the same time can go 407, which is zero point 0.8 off the best ever 500-yard freestyle off of guys that specialize solely in freestyle. Insane.
Yeah. Listen, if you ever want to be a millionaire swimmer, do it the year before your home country is hosting the Olympics. I mean, he's hitting his stride at exactly the right time. Reminds me very, very much of like a young Ian Thorpe coming into the Sydney Olympics in 2000. Just the momentum that he was building into that and the hype. I mean, if Paris or France itself is a swimming nation and Paris is the city of swimming here next year, this is mate, he's hit it at the right time, hasn't he?
Absolutely. He's going to be the face of France in a year's time. He's going to be on billboards. He's going to be in TV commercials. He's going to take over. And I don't know, like, there will have to be a debate at one point what events he tries to swim at the Olympics and what he's got the possibility of winning. But, already it begs to ask the question, why is the 400 free and the 400 IM so poorly matched on the schedule? Because this is clearly a guy that could probably try his hand at both of them events, right?
Yeah. Well, here's another question too. Does he redshirt next year? Does he take the infamous redshirt, and sit out the NCAA season next year, or does he use it to race like he is right now? It's an interesting one, isn't it?
I mean, the good thing about a year like this, where he's being so successful, is we're going to see how he does when it gets to World Championships this year. And if he's good at World Championships, which I don't doubt for a second he will be good at World Championships this year, why change a winning formula? If it works this year, why mess with it next year? Like you change a measure and something different happens, and maybe he's worse. So I think just keep rolling with what's working, and I wouldn't redshirt next year. But if he wants to, and Bob thinks it's a good idea, and he thinks it's a good idea, I'm also not going to question what they think is good. So.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get him on the show one of these days. We'll try and track him down. I've asked him a couple of times, and he's holding off for now. But we'll get him on. We'll pull him in, see what happens. But listen, what else is going on in the world of swimming? A lot of action kind of this week, hasn't there?
Yeah. I mean, again, if you don't already do it, get on Swim Spam. You're going to get a little newsletter on Monday morning, which, Nate and they do a great job just getting all the important stuff to you on a Monday morning, all the results from all over the world. I've just put it in the description. So if you want to sign up to Swim Spam, there we go. Just this link here, Swim Spam. It's great. And we can see a couple of the titles there. But there were some big things. I mean, I want to quickly touch on this one. Marcus Formeyer testing positive for ligandrol, which is the same SARMs substance that Shayna Jack was was tested positive for. I think Shayna said she got it from kissing her boyfriend who used it, and Marcus Formeyer has said he got it from sharing his gym partner's water bottle. So
that's how I mean,
I love it. I love the excuses, and it's like if I was going to the gym with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I wouldn't use any of his substances because he's probably taking something in the prime, or Chris Brumstead or whatever. Like, come on, just the excuses are poor, and the ban of 1 year is just not good enough. But yeah, I just thought that was quite a funny thing. Not funny for the sport, but funny that's how people think they can get away with stuff.
What does it actually? I don't even know what it does. I mean, some of this stuff I have no clue. I'm like, why would you even take it? Like, what are you taking it for? If he's taking it willingly and knowingly, and he's not kissing his boyfriend or drinking out of his bottle, why is he taking it then? Like what's it doing for him? But yeah, I don't know. Strange.
Yeah, I think it's sad in the sport, and it's also sad when the governing bodies don't do the right things to make sure it doesn't happen. But anyway, more positive things. I think of all the swimming that happened this weekend, one that I think really stood out to me was in Greece, a young 17-year-old lad popping off a 156 long course 200 backstroke, threatening Apostolos's Greek record. And I'd never heard of this lad. I don't know if you had heard of this lad, but that's a frighteningly fast time.
No, I haven't heard of him. I haven't heard of many youngsters these days, unless they're, breaking world records. But I'm just not in the game like that. But when you see someone like this pop a time, certainly piques your interest. Was there anyone from Indiana on the pool deck?
Ray Lou's caught a last minute flight, and he's already scouted this guy. He's going, yeah. But I don't know, like Greece randomly have some really good backstrokers. Like they have the guy Apostolos going 52 lows, and it's kind of weird how it happens, isn't it? One guy sort of paves the way, and then there's like a little uprising of talent in that event in a country like Greece, which is maybe not a major player in the swimming world. It's really good to see some big performances coming from them, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, it's good to see young talent coming through, and hopefully they can hang on to him and he doesn't get pulled away into the U.S. system. But I'm sure there's going to be coaches all over him if he's young and he's popping times like that already. Adam Peaty's back, I see.
Yep. So, they're in. Whereabouts in Australia are the GB guys on camp? They're wherever Kyle Chalmers is. So is that Adelaide?
Well, Kyle Chalmers lives in Adelaide, but I know the Australian swim team right now are in camp as well. They have they have these select camps where they invite the best athletes around the country to come in, and I know the Aussies were in camp themselves. So Chalmers was in camp with all the other Aussies. I know it was interesting because he was in camp with Cody Simpson. So I don't know if they were roommates at all, but definitely on camp together. So yeah, I like to get the lowdown there. But yeah, I don't know. It's summertime in Australia, so everyone's going down there and soaking up the sun and getting the training in.
Well, I think wherever they're on camp, that's where the GB guys, the Loughborough lot are on camp with Mel and a few of the other swimmers, and I guess they entered a local meet. And Adam Peaty went 59.5, which is only like 0.3 off what he swam in the Commonwealth final. So I mean that bodes well for him being back towards his better ways. Still a while off his PB, but I mean I'm sure he's going to get faster and faster all year like usual. There's a couple other swims. I think Tom Dean went a 146.1 for the 200 freestyle, which is becoming more and more ordinary, I guess. 146s. But yeah, there was also some swimming in Germany. It was the Bundesliga, which is like the German team nationals. And I find it crazy. They must have some money, or there must be prize money involved, because these German teams scouted ridiculously. Like, Coleman Stewart was on one team, but the amount of just international swimmers on these German teams was crazy. I mean, Chad swims with Frankfurt, but the Frankfurt team brought in Kregor, Susanna Jakobos, 2 or 3 other big names. And every team had like some German swimmers, some Dutch swimmers, some British, there's a few British guys over there swimming for teams, but it was overall pretty slow. So
Yeah, well, like I said last week, I know they do that in Brazil. That they bring them down for the club competition. So maybe the club competition in Germany is heating up, and they're trying to get that thing going. Pay a few athletes to come in. So
Yeah, bless
bless
you.
you. Jeez, Brett, take it easy, mate. Okay, well that's good. Interesting. What about some other kind of heavy news on the swimming side, on the American side of things, with the Terry McKeever news, where she was actually fired by Cal this week. That seems to have come to a close, but massive investigation into kind of bullying and some other things at Cal. So kind of a sad ending to very very sad story, but also sad ending to a pretty illustrious career, right?
Yeah, it's. I think we're living in a world that's getting more and more sensitive to certain behaviors, and there's definitely like a changing in the way you can act on pool decks, or maybe
Mm.
what you could. And there's something to be said about ways of motivating and working hard. There's also stuff that just can't fly. I don't know Terry. I've never met Terry, and I'm sure for every 10 swimmers that say she was the best coach they could have asked for, there's one swimmer that maybe was offended by her. I did read the reports and some of the stuff that was said back when it was all announced, and some of it was pretty, not okay. But I'm sure there's two sides to the story, and I mean, that's all I can say, really. I don't know
Yeah, I
if you,
think the way I look at it is like Terry probably hung on a little bit too long and didn't make enough change in the way she was coaching. Like, look, she's been at Cal, 30 something years, right? So in that time, swimming has evolved, coaching has changed, the way that you interact, and it was a man's world back then. She's right. Like, some of her argument was like, well, the men were doing this, men get away with this. And I think in some respects, the hardness of coaching was very male dominated at that point in time, and I think there was a way that they coached, and for sure, um, a lot of those male coaches that were looked at as maybe coaching that way have all moved on, and I
Mm,
think Terry was probably coaching very similar in some respects, saying maybe some hard stuff, and just didn't evolve with the times, and hung on too long, and then ended up getting to a point where that would maybe motivate some people, I don't know, and then it wouldn't motivate other people,
yeah,
for sure. It would highly offend them, and then to the extent of what they're saying, she said, like, yeah, I guess that's going above and beyond what is the norms, so look, just a sad ending to a very kind of illustrious career. Like I
yeah,
said, I mean, she's the winningest female coach in history. She's been Olympic head coach for the female side. She's coached Olympic champions. I mean, in terms of the performances that she's produced, she had a massive impact in that respect as well. So
hmm
it's hard to say. It's hard to take away from the things that these women went through, and then on the other side, the kind of relationship that some of these other women had with us. So I don't know. It's just, it ended, it's done, and I think Cal's moved on. I think we're going to get to a point where David Marsh will probably be named the head women's coach after this season. I think he's kind of there. I think Dave Durden is looking after both the men and women. I don't know if that continues. Maybe it does. Maybe Dave
yep.
stays with the men and women, and Dave Marsh stays on as an assistant, or they split it. Who knows where it's going to go? But that's kind of, it's in their hands right now, and we'll see how they do this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, Cal continue being successful, and they've got great coaches in that program that can handle the load of all the guys there. So, fortunately, I think they're going to be all right, and the girls on the team should be well looked after, which is what needs to happen.
Yeah, for those that don't know, how many events is he going to swim at NCAA's? You're only allowed to swim 3 events. So he has to pick the 3 that is most effective for his team, not even necessarily the ones that he could win. It's where the team needs him, the gaps. I mean, obviously, he just pumped out a 100 backstroke. That was pretty impressive. He went a 500 free. So we may even be seeing Leon swim some events at NCAA's that you wouldn't necessarily think would be his top choices. But who knows? I guess at this stage he can swim whatever he wants. I'd pretty much put on without a doubt that he's going to swim the 400 IM at NCAA's. There's no doubt about that. And that, I believe, falls on the Friday. So what they do now is they swim the Wednesday night. They swim the 800 free relay. So he'll be on that. And then they go into the next full day of Thursday. So that's Wednesday night is the relay. Thursday is the full day. So you've got the 200 IM, I'd imagine. You'd swim on that day. Yeah, 150 free. He's not going to do that. And then the next day he's got the 400 IM. And then the last day, you know what else is on that 200 IM day is that 500 free. So he's got the 5 free and the 2 IM. So he'd have to choose between those two events. And depending on what his team needs, he may end up swimming the 500 free, and then he definitely going to swim the 4 IM. But that the 100 back is on the 4 IM day as well, so he could double up that day. The last day you got the 200 breast, you got the 200 fly, you got a 200 back. I mean, so yeah, he's got some events there on that day too. So.
I mean, he's a world medalist in the 2 fly, so he could probably even throw his hand at the 2 fly.
It'll be interesting. Good topic of conversation. I guess what we'll see probably is he's going to swim at the Pac-12s before this, so we might get a glimpse of maybe his event lineup there. Who knows? But he's just so versatile. But good question there. I like this. So other than those things, is there any other big news that came through? Before we go into our question and answer here?
I think we've covered the main stuff. I mean, there was some fast women swimming as well. Probably shouldn't forget that. Amy Canny, South African girl, went the second fastest 200 freestyler in the country. Kate Douglas went a 200 breaststroke NCAA record, 2:01.4. So that's frighteningly quick. Gretchen Walsh swam a PB in the 200 freestyle, known for sprinting, but she swam her first 200 free PB in 3 years. Mainly just UVA girls swimming really fast, actually. There were some fast. The Texas girls have been swimming really fast. There's a little cohort of, Lydia Jacoby, Kelly Pash, Anna Ellen, the girl, I forgot her name, Dakota Lufa. So, yeah, Texas is swimming really well as well. So, yeah, it's been some fast women swimming. We talk about guys, but talk about the women as well. It's been some really good women swimming as well.
Yeah, now, Nate just put something through to us. This French backstroker fractured his elbow December 27th in a skiing accident. That's never a good thing. What's this?
Yes, Johan. Johan Nadui. He's a really nice guy, and he's recovering from that. He's kicking and doing like dry land and stuff, and he's doing the most he can. And guys, do put questions over in the chat bit because we will go through all the questions at one point. So do ask questions. We're going to go to that in a second.
Let's go to this one real quick. Do you offer swim clinics? Would be great if athletes could possibly. Their coaches could learn from you and their athletes. I mean, you guys can learn from me anytime you want. And Sonny, over at Any Question, we're over on Any Question all the time, answering questions. I've got basically 800 answers on that platform of me talking about everything. Sonny's got over 1,000 answers on there. Go on there and hit us up on Any Question. That's where you need to be. Many other athletes. Bob Bowman's over there, so like you can get all the best. You don't need a swim clinic necessarily. But no, I don't offer swim clinics anymore. I know that if you want to come to America and do a swim clinic, you can do one through Fitter and Faster Swim Clinics. You can find them on the website. But no swim clinics for me anymore. I just talk about swimming.
Yeah.
What else we got here? He's swimming. Okay, there we go. Ben Tate. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, guys, let us know how you've swum. If you've raced this weekend, we're all into every swimming. So tell us about your swimming.
What about Joe Litchfield? Eh?
Joe's rapid. Joe's got some of the best underwaters in the world, and it doesn't surprise me that he's pretty good yards. I think a college program would have absolutely loved to have Joe on their team.
Why didn't he take it up? What happened?
He's at the national centre in the UK, and he's doing well. Jamie's over at Lisbon this weekend. Nice.
All right,
Everyone's
Jamie.
at Lisbon this weekend.
Yeah. Will Arizona beat Cal? Will Arizona I don't know. I think you mean Arizona State. Will Arizona State beat
Yeah.
Cal? The answer to that is no. I don't think they'll beat Cal overall. I think they have events that they'll certainly win. They may even win a couple of relays. I'm not sure, but I don't think they have the team to beat Cal. But they've certainly got a number one swimmer in the world. That always helps, doesn't it? Do you think, what's this one? Adam Peaty could possibly do a 200 really good. No, he's too big. He's jacked. Have you seen him? He was posting some photos or videos of him doing some pull-ups. He looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's massive. There's no way he could get through a 200. I don't think he wants to. He wants to rip a good 50, 100.
He has been 208 long course, just to clarify. He has been pretty world class. This is about 5 years ago. I think it was 2018. He actually made their team and then didn't swim it at Worlds or whatever, or did badly. But he has been a 208 long course, which at the time was within a second of the world record. Now it's the world record's 205, and 208 is nowhere near as elite as it was back when he swam it. But, he's good. But, yeah, I don't think he cares about that anymore, and I don't think that's the direction he's going in.
Yeah. Hey, Timon had a good race on the weekend, won the 100 fly at the county champs. Were you there, son?
I'm in Devon, so Cornwall's the next county south from me. So I was at the Devon County Champs, but I actually coach at the same pool that Timon trains at with his club tonight. So I'll see him, and he's going to get one of these bad boys that I'm now selling.
There you go, Timon.
He's picking one of these up from me, a swimsuit guy cap.
Nice. Well, Timon, let's get that up on Instagram, eh?
If you want to buy one of them, they're now for sale.
Where can they buy those?
On my website, www.theswimsuitguy.co.uk.
There we go. Selling caps. Nice. The Stockholm Swim Open in April. Yeah, we'll check it out. If it's online, Coach Fritz, we're not going to be out there, but we'll check it out. See what's going on.
Talk about any swims that happen. That's kind of what we do, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like Lisbon.
A lot of talk about this one, eh? A lot of talk about the Arena Lisbon meet. Diogo and Moresi going to be out there. That'll be good.
What else we got? We're getting a lot of questions. I like this. This is a
little bit about biceps and triceps here. What's going on here? Just for the sake of having a wider surface of area pulled during the arm, whether or not these muscles. So biceps and triceps. No, look, you don't need big biceps and triceps. I think what you need is you need them to be strong, and you need them to be. Have that endurance in them so that they can hold the water for longer periods. So it's not a matter of just pulling once really hard. It's a matter of holding water throughout the whole race and having those muscles work effectively. So there's no better workout than a swim workout for swimming fast. So swimming is the number one thing you can do. Then you get in the gym and you increase strength and endurance in your gym workouts, but certainly not looking for hypertrophy where you're looking for size. You're just looking for strength and endurance in those muscles for sure.
This guy, Jonathan, knows what's going on. Look, he's back swimming at 32, and look at who his coach is, Mr. Brett Hawke. And Any Question. He's using all that information that's there. Like the amount of good stuff that people like you, James Gibson, are putting out about 50 freestyle, sprint freestyle. It's like the ultimate place to be. And I'm pretty sure it's a free resource as of now, right?
Free, completely free. Get on there and get your free resource. We're over there. But Jonathan, cheers to you, my friend. Appreciate that.
Keep us updated. We're seeing a 25 point soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's coming. It's coming. What's happening in Germany?
That was Bundesliga. That was what we mentioned earlier.
All right, yeah.
There was nothing particularly fast there. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of racing and it's good fun. I saw some good atmosphere videos, but I didn't see a single swim where I was like, well, that's really fast. So, Chad won the 200 backstroke, I think. Coleman went PB +3 or world record +3 on the 100 backstroke. It was short course. It was pretty slow. And I don't think it's really about, swimming fast. It's just a team competition and getting points and whatever.
Here's a good question on proper wrist flexion for underwater phase of a straight arm freestyle. I'm going to go full screen on this one for us. Okay, so I always told my athletes, you want a firm wrist. Okay, so as you come in, you want to flex on the water. So you want to hold the water, but you don't want to bend at the wrist, and you certainly don't want to let go of the wrist. Okay, so if you let go, the water's going to slide. If you bend here, all right, it's just going to scoop. So what you want to have is you want to have a firm, straight wrist, but then just a slight flexion on the fingers so you can catch the water here. Okay, so you catch it and then you hold it all the way through. So keeping that wrist firm is essential right there. Okay, best I could do there, given the circumstances.
That's very good. Look at that, getting coaching on here as well.
Yeah.
I have 2 kid athletes. They're getting ready for Texas State Champs. We play your and Swimsuit Guy videos often. Thanks for the content. Well, I'm glad we're helping. And all the best to your 2 kids. I hope they swim great estates.
That's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Chad went 155 short course, 200 backstroke. I saw Sonny on Twitter recently say that Dressel might be the GOAT. What is the argument for him as the GOAT? Is he sprinter GOAT? I think I actually said he's the most athletic person we've ever had swim and be a competitive swimmer. And I think there's a solid argument. I'm sure there's been a few other very athletic guys over the years, but he's definitely up there with just pure athletic humans we've ever had in the sport. I don't know. Have your thoughts on that, Brett?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of arguments for who the sprinter GOAT is. And, you could go with Popov, first of all, who won back-to-back Olympics in both the 50 and the 100 freestyle. You could go with Gary Holt Jr., who won back-to-back Olympics and a silver medal before that in the 50 free. So he went silver, gold, gold. You could go with Anthony Irvin, who won gold 16 years apart. You could go with Cesar Cielo, who won gold in the Olympics, and then he won 3 world championships in a row.
And he's the fastest ever.
and he's got the world record, So a lot of arguments out there for the GOAT. And then there's Dressel, obviously, in the conversation, who's now, the latest guy who's come through. And like you said, probably the most athletic swimmer in history. But he's at the midpoint of his career, so there's no point in calling him the GOAT compared to guys that have gone through. And then look, I didn't even mention Peter van den Hoogenbaan, who won back-to-back Olympics in the 100 free and first man to go under 48. I mean, come on. So there's a lot of guys in the conversation there. You got Matt Biondi before that. You got Tom Jager, 2 legends of the sport. So a lot of guys in the conversation. I'm not in it. I'm just having the conversation. Raced a lot of those guys, maybe coached a couple of them. But yeah, so yeah, really interesting guys. But I don't know if there's a GOAT just yet. What else we got here?
Just going down. The Arena League is like the national team league in the UK. For those who don't know, unfortunately, it has zero financial sort of situation, so it doesn't have the attraction of the top athletes in the country. And it's a fun meet. It's one of my favorite meets growing up to be at the national final. I loved it, but it's not a particularly fast meet in terms of senior swimmers, unfortunately.
What about this one? Do you have any specific exercise to improve ankle flexibility? A lot of breaststrokers that I knew used to kind of just sit on their ankles, turned out. You turn your ankles out and you kind of sit on them, and that takes time to get to that point of flexion. But a lot of them would do that. Anything else, Sonny?
I was going to say sit on the ankles. It's pretty simple, but it works, I guess. Sit on your ankles when you watch TV. Sit on your ankles before training. Just find time for it.
Yeah. And I always would stretch out in the shower when the hot water's on it. Let the blood flow down there and kind of stretch them out in the shower. Other people would come in a little bit early and do some warm-up exercises, so that their feet are in the right position once they got into the pool. So yeah, just you gotta be consistent with that type of work. That's really what it comes down to. It's not a matter of stretching once and thinking, why aren't my ankles where I want them to be? That takes months to kind of get them into the position, and then you got to keep working to keep them there. So
here's stuff. Here's one for you, Brett. You can go full screen for this one. Come on.
What is the best way to Make sure you engage the lats during the pull phase during freestyle instead of using your rear delts. Okay, well, I'll give you something that I always told my athletes is, a lot of times when you're pulling, you want to kind of clench up here in the neck region, right? These are the traps, So what I would always say to my athletes is release the traps. Okay, so as you come through, you're relaxed in the trap, and then as you pull, okay, you're engaging underneath your arm and not at the top of your shoulder here. So a lot of people will grab here and not engage here, and I say relax here and engage under here. So now the water is being held under here instead of grabbing onto the water from the top. All right. So it's not a strength and power movement in the sense of like grabbing and snatching. And a lot of that has to do with your traps. So release your traps, engage your lats. And I think that's the best way forward for doing that. There we go. Is that helpful?
There we go. Quick one. Do we think sub 2 minutes 200 breast this year? Not this year because there's no short course world champs, but it will happen soon. So yeah,
I think that they're talking. Are they talking long course?
Short course. Say some 200.
All right.
Short course. Right. Yeah, it will happen. There's probably a lot of super athletic guys out there with no real swimming background, but enough fast twitch fibers to make great sprinters. That argument can be made about any sport and any athlete. There's probably someone out there who could be the best at a sport, but doesn't do that sport. But to be good at a sport, you've got to really love it and live it. And if you're not interested in swimming, you're never going to be a good enough sprinter because you've got to live it and love it. And, that's why they probably do another sport or they don't do a sport at all. But yeah, there's absolutely people out there, right?
Yeah, I bet you there's some basketball players that we've lost. Tim Duncan used to be a swimmer. Did you know that?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, swam for the Bahamas. Yeah, we lost him to. He went on to make billions of dollars in basketball. So I understand why we lost him. Jaeger was doing race prep stuff in the 90s. Yeah, he was a freak. Dylan Carter, what?
I love it. What a statement. Just Dylan Carter.
Yeah, Dylan's great. Yeah. Dylan. Love Dylan. What else we got here? Thank you for answering these questions. Okay. Yeah, we'll get into them. We'll keep going. We'll see what we got. What else we got?
Here's a fun one.
Number 1 draft pick for an ISL team. Long course. Who are you picking? Leon Marchand.
It's so obvious. Like, of course you take... Like, Leon can relay. Leon can do every event. He can fill holes. Absolutely. Leon Marchand.
Taking him all day long.
And women, I'd say Kate Douglas.
Yeah, Kate Douglas. God, she can do everything, can't she?
There's a lot of parallels between them two swimmers, actually, in terms of just ridiculous versatility.
Yeah. What about this one? Thomas Chacon could contend the 200 IM. He posted 102 breast, 200 free. He's a rapid flying back. I don't know. Can he put it all together? That's the question.
I mean, he's another low-key, probably a good idea for that draft as well. Someone like a Tom Chacon, but he won worlds for the 100 IM. So, he can do all 4 strokes. He is the world record holder, 100 back long course. Probably the most underrated world record last year, that 51.6, breaking Murphy's record. It was maybe overshadowed by Milak and Popovich, but he's still young. 200 freestyle 146. Yeah, like definitely has the pieces. It's whether or not that's the event he wants to sort of go after. Maybe he wants to stick with 100, 200 backstroke, mate. That's for him and his coach, but definitely has the ability, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Is this me writing stuff? No, this is Nate.
Yeah.
This is Nate putting this in. Search Tim Duncan swimming. Epic blog post. Yep. There we go. That was him swimming.
There's a few other mentions of some great athletes. Eddie Hall, another world champion, world's strongest man. He was a national champion in the 1500 freestyle back when he was 14. So there's a fun fact for you. I think his PB was like 16 something at 14 long course, 1640 or something. He was a 2450 freestyler long course a couple of years after that. So yeah, he went on to again bigger and better things with strongman and is the first guy to deadlift 500 kilos, which is really bloody cool.
Animal. What about that British guy who used to be a diver who's like famous for movies now? What's his name?
Jason Statham was a
Yeah,
Commonwealth diver.
Yeah,
He was a
yeah.
Commonwealth Games diver for England, and then
Mm.
now is obviously one of the biggest action movie stars of all time.
Yeah.
Transporter. I love Jason Statham. He kind of looks like my dad, who also looks like Brett. So maybe Brett is Jason Statham. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit like yeah. This is a good topic, actually. I like this. Let's play this game. Who used to swim?
So I don't know. I'm not aware of Chris Humphries. Do we know?
He's a basketball player. I think
He's
he
a
was
basketball
dating
player.
one of the Kardashians early on.
Obviously, we have again your good friend who's a comedy star. No, what's his name? You had him on the show.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Workaholics.
Yeah. No, you put me on the spot, mate. But
I know I can't remember his. I feel bad now for.
Yeah, you threw it at me. It's too early in the morning. I'm drinking coffee, mate.
Anders. There we go.
Holm, yeah, Anders
Holm. Yeah. Yeah, he was a college swimmer, and now he's a big deal. Yeah, definitely some guys out there. There you go.
What's this one? Oh,
when is Sonny going to race again? No time soon. Sonny's just going to the gym.
Just a gym rat these days. Good on him. Yeah. How's the biceps coming along, by the way? Are they still in?
They're not.
Oh yeah. Oh, a little definition there. Okay.
Okay. I'm leaning up. I'm going to get some abs coming through again soon.
Yeah. I like that.
Here's one. Jordan Crooks' free diving background reminds him of Tom Shields' background in surfing. I mean, being good for water is not a bad thing, right?
Yeah. Will anyone ever break Thorpe's 400 suitless?
I mean, this is kind of a silly question because people aren't racing in briefs these days. So I don't like. When is someone going to go 341 wearing briefs? Never.
Oh, is that what we're talking about? Like he did that in a brief? Was that like 97 or something?
I think so, 97 or 99, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a stupid answer. People have gone quicker than it in jammers, which is as close as you're ever going to get to it. So, I don't know. I still think he's... Gee, there's Jason Statham in the comments.
He's here. He's alive. He's everywhere. He's everywhere, that man. Kyrie Irving, Trey. What are we talking about? Kyrie Irving was a swimmer? I don't know. You going to swim masters with your dad? Is that what's going on?
Only if I have you and my dad on a relay team with me, I'll do it.
Mate, I don't swim. You got to know that. I don't swim.
My dad plays golf. He doesn't swim either.
He doesn't? Maybe I'll have a splash then.
He dabbles.
We're running out of questions here, so this could be the end. Sun Yang, the best swimmer in the world at some point, was he? Yeah, when he was juiced up, of course he was. yeah, he was awesome. He was killing it. Yeah. I think that's been proven, hasn't it? I'm not even just making something up there. That's a fact. But if he wasn't, then he'd still be swimming.
He'd be competing right now, not serving a ban, unfortunately for him.
Has he still got the 8-year ban, or did it get reduced?
I don't even know. I'm
know.
sure it will end up being reduced in some way, but I mean, hopefully he just doesn't ever come back because he's toxic for the sport and not needed.
I don't know if I ever told you, but I was on the pool deck at the World Championships where he got into a fight with a Brazilian swimmer. Did you know that?
I remember that. Yeah, the altercation in the warm up.
Yeah. So I was standing on the pool deck next to the coach of the female swimmer, and Sun Yang's like grabbing her foot as they're swimming in warm up, and she turned around and just smacked him in the head, and then he starts going at her, and then the coach grabbed a pool boy and just threw it at Sun Yang. It was all happening. And I'm just standing there like, wow, this is awesome. What's going on?
I wish that was caught on film.
Yeah, so do I. I wish I had the camera on at that point in time, but I was right there. It was wild. Loved it.
Oh, that's insane. Like, it's just bizarre. Every story I've heard about him is just bizarre. I loved it when Duncan Scott's wagging his finger on the podium and all that. Like, swimming needs more of that, to be fair.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get a little bit this year. You know,
Right.
I don't know.
2 more questions, and then we'll call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 14, 6'3". How tall is too tall for breaststroke? I know
Oh,
Pete
wow.
is tall, but there are a lot of small breaststrokers. Reese Whitley is like 6'10", right?
He's a big unit. And then your boys, you know, your foreign boys. What's their names? Ones that swam for you are the breaststrokers. For not Shimanovic. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Ilya Shimanovic is like
Yeah,
6'5", right? He's
yeah.
massive. Yeah.
Shimanovic is a big boy, right?
Yeah, just work with what you've got. You know, if you're tall, you're in a positive place, right? So you're doing well. You know.
What about that? We got ourselves a super sticker. Hey,
Whose channel was it on though? Me or yours? One of us has got it.
$10, baby. Let's go. Lunch is on me. Yolders, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
that's the first time we got one of those.
Yeah, it was unnecessary, but thank you. You know, you can go out and buy a nice coffee now. I appreciate that. Who's the goat? Breaststroke, Kitajima or Petey? Petey's still swimming. So again, I don't think we can call anyone who's still swimming the goat just yet. You know, but obviously he's probably a pretty strong candidate for the position. But you know, once his career's over, we can kind of argue that. You know, see where he goes at the end. But Kitajima was the best of his time, and Kitajima changed the shape of breaststroke. You know, the way that it was done, and I mean, anyone that comes along like that has an influence. But Kitajima was certainly one of those, you know, shifters. He made people think differently. He made people swim differently. He put pressure on people. I mean, Kitajima's not a big kid, but man, he was technically perfect. A lot of people say, you know.
Yep.
So, yeah, legend. What's this one? Last one. Isn't swimming a fifth year. So this is her last year. Well, she's not swimming a fifth year. I wonder why. Okay. Well, I mean, she isn't. Well, look, this will be her last year. Then she'll probably, then she'll not redshirt, but she'll be done, and then she'll go, have a year off for the Olympics, and then call it a day, maybe. I don't know, but what a talent, We're just good. Glad we got another couple of seasons left watching her swim because she is a superb talent. No doubt about it.
Absolutely. Cool.
All right, mate. I think that's it. It was good stuff.
We're gonna just keep getting questions, if not, and we'll go on forever and ever.
I gotta get to work
next week. Come back next week, and we'll do the same thing. We'll answer questions for half an hour. So
yeah, we'll do that. And then next week, tell us more famous people that swam. We need research on famous people that used to be swimmers. We'll get some people up in the comments. That'd be awesome. And we'll save this one, which is an important one. We'll save that for next week. Okay.
Yes.
Let's save that.
John,
thanks.
Join us next week, John, and we'll discuss that first.
All right, guys. Take care. We're out. Bye. Cheers, guys.